I was a drama student growing up and I loved theatre and stuff. And I always loved comedy. I think it was the year when I turned 18, I was like obsessed with like every comedian. And I was like sitting there on YouTube and like watching everything.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Half a Nice Day podcast with your host, Joshua.
And Janine.
And today I'm very delighted to have a very special guest in our presence. All our guests are special. Janine already knows that. But we have with us someone who is full Iranian, but born and raised in the UK. She's an up-and-coming comedian. I performed multiple times with her. She's really funny, guys. Amazing crowd work. One of the best crowd work comedians I've seen here in Dubai. I'm very impressed by her work. She's also a co-host of the Spicy Babies podcast along with Sonia and Z. So please do catch that on YouTube, or I don't know if it's on other podcast platforms. Just YouTube, because that's where the money is. And catch her around shows. Maybe you'll even get a chance to see her with me alongside performing on Dubai stages. And let's give a very warm Half a Nice Day welcome to Roxy, everyone. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
I love how you started with full Iranian.
Yeah.
Like what?
We don't have these full people on our podcast. That's why we're not allowed. They're not allowed into our studios.
Yeah, that's true. Usually we have half in the house. But she grew up in the UK. So
Yes.
how was that? Were you born and raised?
Yeah. So born and raised
Okay.
in the UK.
Okay.
So yeah.
Your parents met there in UK?
No. So they met in Iran and then basically migrated to the UK for university. And then they just the revolution happened and they were like, yeah,
Right.
not going back.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's leave now.
Let's stay now.
Okay.
And how was growing up in the UK?
Back when I grew up,
Yeah.
it was really nice.
Mm.
It was very nice. Now, not so much. I wouldn't recommend it.
With the
but-
latest happenings.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of just been a downward spiral since Brexit.
Yeah.
But
yes.
yeah. But growing up there, it was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where in UK?
So South London.
Okay.
So Surrey Borough. It's like 30 minutes to central London, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you moved into Dubai recently or a couple of years ago?
I've actually been here longer than I've been in the UK now. So 2003?
Right.
2003. Yeah. So 21 years. now.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So my last year of high school.
Okay, so it was a parent's decision to move
was.
here.
It
Okay.
was.
Where did you go to high school?
Oh, two random ones. So I went to one in Abu Hail called Queens,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
which was a cultural, I'll tell you about that, was a cultural shock because everybody was like 90% Egyptians and all
Nice.
hijabi ladies.
Right.
And it was just me and I was like, I think my parents put me in the wrong school.
Queens is not the kind of queen you were thinking about, Mom and Dad.
Yes, I thought my parents thought it was like, afternoon tea and scones. Yeah. And I was like, whoa.
Hello, that monster. That's like it's just Egyptians. No offense to Egyptian listeners, but that's a funny story.
So I was in Queens for a year and then Cambridge Garwood.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, very British.
Very good.
That's where she met all the Indians.
That's where I met all my Daisies. That's where my Daisy love started.
So how was moving from the UK high school, right? You moved
Yeah.
in. What was that like?
I think because I made the stupid decision of it was like mid GCSEs. I don't know if you guys did GCSEs.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so I had to drop a lot of my favorite subjects. I dropped drama, I dropped German, I dropped religious studies because you guys don't even have that here.
Yes.
And then I took up 3 new subjects in year 11 here. I think
But like the sciences and business, yeah.
like those and like a few others that I had to take up to make up my extra. So it was interesting, and then it was just cultural shock in terms of like the people we met.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Yeah, it was fun.
I can imagine as someone who comes in from UK, which is not so. I mean, at that time, I felt growing up in Dubai, it was very strict.
Yeah.
There was a lot of rules in terms of what you should wear. A lot of rules socially. I'm not too sure if you have a segregated classroom where you have just boys and girls.
I think because we were in year 11, we were mixed. It was
Okay.
co-ed.
Yeah. So to me, that was also, I wouldn't say a shock because I grew up here, but other way around, going back to the Philippines,
Yeah.
going into college, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, because she did not the opposite, but
Yeah, coming in from
Yeah.
a very strict upbringing, and then moving on to the Philippines where everything's like, it's okay, you know?
Really?
Yeah, it's very open. You get to like mingle with boys and girls in the same classroom. So I don't know, like if for you it was quite difficult to adjust to that situation or not
No, ironically, in
Yeah.
the UK, I was in an all-girls school.
okay.
It's an all-girls school.
Right.
With
Okay.
like the horrendous outfits and everything.
Yeah.
It,
The
you know,
uniforms and all
yes,
that,
they
yeah.
purposely do that apparently in like some parts in the UK to make it very unattractive for men. It's ironic. It's
That doesn't.
disgusting. It's very weird.
I don't know. Teens. I mean, men in their teens are the most
Yeah.
rowdy sort of individuals. So I don't think even dressing up in a way
Wouldn't
where
help.
yeah would help.
It's like,
They're
that's a girl.
girl. Okay. I think I love you. Yeah.
Yeah, Dubai back then was, I don't know, to me is very different to what the kids are growing up
Now.
in Dubai now. Yeah.
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 It must be like fine and dandy, but back then it was something else.
Yeah.
But I loved it because it gave us a sense of like, I don't know, structure. Gives a sense of like,
No, and the thing, like, I'm pretty sure you felt like this because, I mean, not. I don't know about now, but when we went to the UK last year, it was full brown people everywhere we went. So I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't think it was like that, like when you were growing up, but like when we go there, I'm like, are we back in Dubai or are we in India or something like that? But it must have also been a cultural shock seeing like so many different nationalities, and I think that's where you get to meet a lot of new people as well.
True. Ironically, growing up, my two best friends, who like my childhood best friends, were Indian twins.
Oh,
So
okay,
and we're
okay.
still like friends till today. So that was like my first, it was like where I grew up. We had a lot of mix of like South Asian communities.
yeah,
But then our neighbors were mixed.
yeah,
We had like English, we had non-English.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it was very mixed. But now, yeah, there's certain areas in the UK which is only sub-Asian communities or South Asian.
yeah. And I think that's where we stayed. I can't remember what the.
Yeah, do you remember where you went?
I can't remember, but the moment we got into the Airbnb, it was like an Indian Indian
Neighborhood.
families
Yeah.
Was it Tooting?
neighborhood and sorry,
Tooting?
no,
Oh, that would have been hilarious if you went to Tooting.
I can't remember.
I don't know, but it was we stayed in a Malayali Airbnb,
Okay.
Yeah.
and it was a great thing because they're the only one who had the shataf. We made sure whenever we find an Airbnb, we try to get a shataf, and we're like, okay. And then somehow it was an Indian family, and they were really nice
Yeah.
as well.
There's one requirement that Josh needs in an Airbnb or hotel. If there's no shataf, he's like, nope.
That's the worst thing about
Yeah.
Europe.
Yeah,
And we were lucky. My dad, like even in the UK, he literally like broke down all the bathrooms and like put a shatafas everywhere. We had shatafas and bidets, so you had like either way,
You had the
a clean
works.
boo hole. Yeah.
It's like my family will not grow up having no shatafs. This is a shataf
We bring
household.
Iran to them, not the other way around.
Yeah. So you have a portable shataf.
Yeah, I always bring a portable
Portable
one
BB.
whenever I travel.
Especially in the US.
For sure,
God,
for
yeah.
sure.
He won't be able to.
We used to DIY it, but now we've got a portable.
Oh
one as
yeah.
well.
Yeah. In
Yeah.
the Philippines, we have a DIY. We still use it a lot. It's called a tabo. So
Oh,
it's
like
like
the
a
old school one.
dipper.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
And in most households, you'll have a large sort of
Bucket,
bucket,
which is the same one you use for your bath, by the way. So it's like this, and then you go in the toilet, and it's like that.
and you'll just leave water on there, which is like a pool fest of mosquitoes.
Yeah, pool fest of mosquitoes.
But like you still use it, and you're like, okay, let me. Yeah.
As long as there's water.
As long as there's water, yeah.
water.
Yeah, as
That's
long
all.
as it's clean.
yeah,
Yeah, our
For sure.
buttholes are all clean,
yeah.
and that's one thing
Yeah.
that we share. With,
Then
like,
you know you're gonna have a
Ryan.
good day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're always like very culturally shocked when we go to the US or
Yeah,
Europe,
I
or at
suppose-
least my first few times going there, because I'm like, where is the bidet?
Yeah.
You keep cleaning. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing.
It's really, really weird.
Yeah.
And then some of them I hear, like, even if they wipe back to front. Where I was like, no, that cannot be possible. You guys are like a superpower first world country. And there's some things you can take from the third world, you know, like a bidet and all these sort of things. And
Yeah,
they
out
still
of
don't.
everything
Out
that
of
they,
everything, yeah.
out of everything that they could have taken from all of their colonies, why not take the good?
Yeah, I know you
thing?
took your tea, you took your spice, just take a bucket of water. That's the back to basics.
Or ways of like just cleaning yourself up. But yeah, I
we
think now,
digress. We digress.
I think more and more people are getting into it. By the way,
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure,
Yes.
for sure.
Those-
Especially the British who come here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
think
even
it
all the new
changed.
comedians now, like Liz, John, they all talk about how much of a blessing it was when they first saw one over here, and then compared to, and like something that they really want to bring back. I think it slowly but surely,
Yeah.
especially since there's a big Muslim population in the European countries now, it's gonna start happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Philippines doesn't even have it everywhere, by the way, because I realize it's more of a Muslim thing, so it's more of a cleanliness thing. But there was a law just recently passed last year where the mayor of Manila is mandating it in every bathroom now. So
Public
yeah,
restroom.
public
Yeah.
restroom, yeah.
So it's now become a law.
Yeah, it's gonna
Love
become a
that.
law, yeah.
Need to have
And there's an
bidet.
app. Okay, this is the funniest thing. Before we continue on the podcast, this is just for your information. If you ever go to Philippines, there's this app called Merong Bang Bidet, which translates to "Is there a bidet?" And it's a Google Maps sort of interface where it tells you, okay, if you want if you're in this mall and if you want a bidet, go to the second floor, turn right. It'll give you directions because not all the bathrooms will have a bidet, and they'll tell you this one. And then there's different, like out of 5 stars, cleanliness, water pressure, all those sort of things. And I'm just in the Philippines, and I'm like on Google Maps, like sort of, where's the closest toilet? Because I'm about to explode over here.
That's great.
God bless whoever created
Yeah,
that
I know.
particular app.
These are doing. These people are doing God's work.
Okay, now
Okay, now.
we get back
Yeah.
to the
So did you do university here?
So I did uni 2 years here and 1 year in the UK, Middlesex. It was the only
yes.
English one back
Yes.
then. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So your parents, are you really try to keep with your
We
British
did,
tradition?
we did. I don't know
and-
why we did. Yeah.
education.
Okay.
Yeah, but we wanted like English curriculum.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you did your last year in the UK,
Yes.
you thought of not staying there. You said you would come back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Even my last year there, I was working, like I used to do telesales. So I'd go to uni and then do telesales on the side. That's where my love for sales started. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really. I'll tell you what I did. It was very dodgy. And then after, I was like, I'm going to go back to Dubai and like stay with my friend for a month and see if I can get a job.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. I came back, got a job, and I was like, all right, I'm staying then.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you could live in Dubai, why not?
Exactly.
Taxes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Especially once you have a taste of Dubai, it's really
Yeah.
hard for people to leave as well.
Yeah.
Do you have siblings or no?
I do. I got one older sibling, but he moved back to the UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And so he was with you here as well
He
when
was,
you.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
He was here, and then he got married. He got married really young, actually. I think they were like 24. He was
Oh,
24,
wow.
she was
Okay.
23. They got married, and then they lived here, and then they left, I think, 2009.
Okay.
Okay.
2009, yeah.
Good time.
Good time to leave, yeah. It's all right, we
That was
left
it.
up the market, now we're leaving.
I want to hear more about this telesales thing.
Oh, God. So I did 2 telesales jobs. One was, do you guys know OSN here?
Yeah.
Yes.
So in the UK, we have Sky TV.
Yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I used to work for this company called Skynet.
Isn't that from Terminator?
Terminator.
It's
Yeah, but we would basically do outgoing calls to people and say, we're a part of Sky TV. We're selling you your insurance for in case your satellite or anything breaks. We'll send someone over. We weren't affiliated with Sky TV. We had no affiliation. It was just a really dodgy sibling.
But did you know?
I had no idea. They just made it seem like we were affiliated. And I was like, all right, I paid amazingly well for like back then. You'd get, I think, for back then, how old was I? I was like 21. It was like £11 an hour plus
Wow.
commission. But it was
Wow.
like, it was the most cutthroat job ever. Like if you didn't do your 11 a day, by the end of the day, they would be like, get packing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was
okay.
very interesting. So we used to do that. And there was this, I'll never forget this one guy next to me. It was this short, I think Sri Lankan guy. He sat next to me. This guy was a machine. He would, and it was really bad because like most of the people that we would sign up were like these elderly people. I know. And I think that's like my worst karma in life is from this one telesales job. And we would call and we'd be like, it's ending. So I need to confirm your credit card details so I can put you through the system. And then he had obviously figured out that all visas start with 4 or 5 and then whatever it be, and all MasterCards
Yeah.
start
Correct.
with.
Yeah.
So he'd be like, okay, I'm going to say the first few digits and then you finish it, okay? Whatever their name was. And then he'd be like 4 or 5, and then whatever they would say, he would quickly input it into the system.
Wow.
Oh, this guy was a machine. He would get like 12, 13 sales a day.
That's insane. So he got his commission.
Oh, yeah, he got his commission.
Wow.
And now we're in hell, but...
You're gonna be paying for it for the rest of your life, but
commission,
okay.
No, but as a college student, having
That's
that
really good
much.
money, yeah.
Yeah, that was really good money back then. So I was doing that, and then I think I did that for about 4 or 5 months, and then I moved closer to where uni was, and it was a BT call center, so similar to Do. That was just incoming. It was
Okay,
like people
okay.
having-
People's
That was
Customer
less
service.
dodgy.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it was less dodgy. That was more
Really helping people out.
really helping them with the telecommunication.
Not asking for their credit
Oh, God,
card.
no, thank God. But I do say, if anyone ever wants to like upskill their sales, you got to work in tele.
I was just going to say, I think,
Yeah.
I feel really bad because nowadays you get a lot of calls from banks as well saying,
Real estate, everything.
real
Yeah.
estate. I don't know. They will even call you to invest. And as soon as you see, sometimes you don't even answer that call. And when you answer, you probably give them 3 seconds. Who are you? No, not interested. And then end it. So I don't know if it's much more difficult to do it now because it's
I think
a lot more. It's
I think
happening more rampant than how
Yeah.
it was. But I always have the utmost respect for salespeople because,
think so.
man.
I think patience-wise, like, whoa, it should them and customer service.
Yes.
Customer service, you have to have the patience of a saint.
Oh gosh.
Like,
Yeah.
even if you're the nicest person, you take your thing out on customer service people in this country. You're like,
Yeah.
my food was 5 minutes late.
Yeah.
How dare you? Like,
We're so spoiled.
Yeah.
we really are.
Yeah.
We
It
really,
is.
really are.
And would you say those 2 jobs really helped you like gain a lot of
I would say
skills?
yes.
Yeah.
Because I've like biggest chunk of my work has always been in sales and business development. So I would definitely say it came from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good foundation.
It was a good foundation from a very dodgy place, but a good foundation. Yeah, I'll
And
definitely
from a
say
young
so.
age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then when I was here, I was doing promo work. You remember promo?
Ah,
work
yes.
Back in the day.
Yes.
I was doing promo work from like 16, 17, even
Yeah.
though you weren't supposed to until 18. But I was.
But everyone did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You would
Even
hand
I
out
started
those
off in promo
flyers.
work. Everyone got excited for G-Tex.
Oh,
And you know,
God,
all
'cause it would
those sort
pay
of things.
so
Yeah.
well.
They paid really well.
Yeah.
It would be like 4 days and you get like 10K or something. It was
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
I know one guy who worked for PlayStation, so he literally just had to play PlayStation. Then I got a PlayStation gig as well,
Yeah.
and it was the best. I'm just playing, making friends with kids. They'll all call me uncle, uncle. Can I play
How old
now?
were you back
I was
then?
like 16. But I aged very poorly, by the way. Puberty hit me in a very bad way, and now I'm okay. But if you see a few of my pictures when I was 16, 17, you'll be like, this guy's like 40 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
True.
I started graying in high school.
Oh, I'm all
yeah,
great.
Yeah.
I'm
So
all great.
so it was really crazy, like,
Yeah.
and growing up, and they're, uncle, can I play now? I'm like, oh, I'm okay, yeah, sure. So
Now I love it. He's my brown George Clooney.
I used to dye.
So
I used to dye my hair at 17. My sister, I would make her dye my hair at 17.
When did
Yeah.
you start getting? So I started getting it when I was 13, and not 15. My mom started dyeing my hair, and it
Oh,
just
really?
started getting
Oh.
worse and worse. Oh yeah, I've had every
Really?
color
For
on
me,
the
I think I
spectrum.
started at 16. 16, yeah.
Oh, but I love this. The salt and pepper on guys looks amazing.
Yeah,
So much on us,
right?
girls, we can't pull it off. that
For
quickly.
women, you're like, oh, I have to dye my
Yep,
hair.
I gotta do my roots.
It's not acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I really hated it. Because I was always made fun of, like, why do you have like gray hair at 16, or just doing math exams or something? It's like you know, like you have loans to pay to your banks and everything. I'm like,
The maths really took it out of me.
What are you stressing him?
Yeah, I know. You go home
Algebra.
to your parents. Yeah.
It was algebra.
I lost my calculator and I had to do an exam, and the world's crumbling down.
Oh gosh. I wanted to ask because I was looking at your videos
Yeah.
and then I realized that your husband is Indian.
Yeah.
So how did you guys meet?
Oh.
Yeah.
So we met here,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yes.
We met here about a decade ago, and it was via one of our mutual friends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And how did it happen? Okay, you want the long story or his version? His version is we met through friends.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's the end of it.
Your story. Your
juicy
My
story.
version. I'll give you my version. So I was working, ironically, back then in real estate, and I had a friend called Catherine, and well, I still have her. She's still around. She's alive.
May she rest in peace, guys.
And she kept saying, she's like, oh, I really want to introduce you to this guy. I think you guys. I'm like, I'm not interested. I don't want to meet a guy. I don't want to date. Not interested in a blind date at all. And she kept going on about it for like a month, and then she finally gave up. And then one day she was like, oh, is it okay if you drop me to Mall of the Emirates after work? I was like, yeah, sure. So I went to Mall of the Emirates, whatever. We met one of her friends, and we were sitting in the upstairs food court. You know, the one that used to be, well, it's still there, where
Yes.
Shake Shack and all that nonsense
Yes.
is. And I saw this guy start walking towards her. I'm like, oh, Catherine, look at that guy. He's so cute. And she looked at me in the most sassy way. And she was like, that's the guy I was going to introduce you to.
See? Just listen to me.
I was like, well, how about next time you show a photo?
I know. We live in a digital age.
That's true.
So that was it. He came, he sat down. I think we were both like really fancied each other. And then the next day he just asked me out on a date and that was it.
Oh, wow.
That is
Yeah.
so cute.
And my man, on the first date, he'd already planned our third, fourth, and fifth day. And I'm like, relax, sir. Relax, sir. The jury's still out.
Yeah. It's like love at first sight.
It was
Yeah.
definitely lust at first sight.
Yeah.
I don't know about love.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And that's 10 years ago.
That was 10 years ago, yeah.
And where did you get married? In... Oh, wow. Is he Hindu?
So he is Hindu, yeah. So that was like a big thing because on paper, I'm obviously Muslim,
Yeah.
although not
Oh, yes.
practicing.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that was the biggest pill for his parents to
I was just going to ask, how was it
Yeah.
with your families?
So my mum, I think the first person from my family I let meet him was my mum, and that was like a year into us dating.
Okay.
And then because I had a really bad experience, so before my husband, I had dated an Indian guy before, and like it was just like the worst relationship ever because it was like 6 months of intensity, and then at the end he's like, my parents are never going to accept you, so bye.
Oh,
I was like, oh my god.
That happens a lot, right?
No, it happens a lot, especially when there's a Hindu and Muslim involved.
Right.
Yeah,
Difference in
that's the hardest way to, because that's the thing where I'm like, yeah, like when I was working in my old company, when someone got married to, he was Hindu and she's Muslim, everyone like they were the talk of the town, like how's that happening?
Really?
Yeah, why are they even letting it happen? It should not happen at all because it's like the biggest. I don't want to say rivalry, but yeah, taboo. Yeah,
Yeah.
taboo. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So yeah, it was very strange. But yeah, so for my parents, they knew about him within the first year, and then like it was 3 years in, and I was like, your parents don't know I exist. He's like, yeah, because the day my parents meet you, that's it. We're getting married, and I'm like, I thought he was just being like dramatic.
Yeah.
He was not. At year 4, his parents found out about me. They're like, okay. First, they ignored him for a month. They were like, are we gonna cut this boy off? What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And then they came around. They're like, okay, we're coming to Dubai to meet this girl.
Okay.
That was it. It was the most awkward interview. I wouldn't even call it a meeting. It was an interview.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was not fun. But
No, I can imagine it must be super. Even when the first time I met her dad, my God, I'll tell you. I've spoken about it multiple times, but I can tell you in a separate story. But
oh, I'd love
it
to
was
hear
the
It
most.
was an interview as well.
It was an interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is your dad the Arab one?
Yes, my dad's Lebanese. That's why.
And
So is he strict? Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
He's a Lebanese who's 6 foot, has a bullet shot wound. He's massive.
He served in the war.
Served in Vietnam.
Something worse. We don't know.
One of the uprisings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like a very strict guy. You see him, you'll like. I feel so
He's
small. in front of him.
intimidating, huh?
Super intimidating.
You
Yeah.
gotta show me a photo later,
sweating.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I briefed you. Like,
Yeah, she briefed
I did
me.
not exaggerate. Like,
Yeah.
I gave you all of the
Yeah,
details.
she gave me the nitty gritty in the beginning. So
Was he cool with you guys there?
no.
Really?
Not at first, no.
I got my first. I don't know if you listened to the podcast, but I got my first hug from him on the wedding day itself. So that was yeah, and that was the only thing I want. I'm like, I don't care if I'm marrying your daughter. I don't care if all my closest friends and family are here. I just want her dad's hug. Like that's the only thing.
Wish. That was his
Yeah.
wish. I just want to hug.
And everyone knew after the wedding, like literally in the night, like, did you get the hug? By the way, you got the hug? I'm like, yeah, I got the hug.
And most of the like people around, when they saw the hug, they're like, he's
Yeah, you got the hug. Yeah, so yeah, that was the only thing that I.
Was it a good hug?
It was a good hug.
Yeah.
It was
Some people are good huggers. When they give you a hug, you're like, oh.
oh, that's my dad.
hug, and then he had some of his tears on my jacket. I'm like, this is the way.
Now we're getting married.
Now I can get married to your daughter. That was it. That was what I was looking for. Yeah, it's tough when you come into a multicultural plus multi-belief religion, whatever it is, relationship.
Yeah.
Especially with the generation of our parents, they're still a lot more, I would say, strict or a lot more.
Like old school sort of
Old
thinking, right?
school,
Like, yeah.
I'm assuming now the next few generations we're gonna have a little bit more flexibility when it comes to what are your beliefs or your religion. It's more so, are you a good person?
Yeah.
Are you how did you grow up? Where did you grow up? Instead of like, what is your religion?
Yeah, what is your faith? What is all
Yeah.
that thing? Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's opening up a lot now,
yeah.
yeah. So there's so many mixed race couples
Yeah.
so many mixed race kids now.
Yeah.
So it's
It's the future.
Yeah.
the future. Yeah.
We're gonna be taking over
Yeah.
the world for
Yeah.
sure. All of these third culture and all of these like mixed kids from wherever they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that story. I love that your friend knew that you guys would click.
I know.
Yeah.
It's very strange because we're complete opposites.
Right.
If you mean us, I think also that's probably why it works.
Yeah.
Very.
I met him only once, I think.
Did you meet him?
Yeah, I met him once.
Probably at the. Did you come to our 30? Because he only comes to. Everyone's like, "Why is your husband not here?" I'm like, "How about your spouse gets sick of seeing your same set over and over again?"
That's me.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm
Mhm.
like, it's.
Yeah.
I think the clavichord was one of the first times I ever met him. One of the comedy shows when you were really fresh into comedy.
Probably yeah.
Because you
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm married to an Indian, he's here in the audience, and then you pointed him out. I'm like, oh, okay, he's here. Where's
okay,
us?
okay.
Something like that, if I remember. But
Okay.
like super long time ago, I can't even remember his face at this point.
It's
But
very tall. Like it's
yeah. Now
Yes.
I remember. Yes.
Yeah.
Probably see. And I haven't even seen you. The thing is, every time he has a show, and now you do what, 2 to 3 times a week?
Yeah, 2 to 3 times a
I'm
week.
just like, I cannot keep up.
I feel like Josh goes through phases though. Sometimes he's like
yeah.
on every scene, and then sometimes you're like,
And
"Where's
then he
Josh? I haven't seen him."
disappears.
Yeah.
Right? And
I'll
then
I'll
he's
tell
like-
you the reason why. You'll feel this when we start talking to your comedy and everything about.
And that's what I wanted to get into. What made you get into comedy?
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good one. To be honest, so I've always one of my favorite subjects that I said I dropped was drama. So I was a drama student growing up, and I loved theater and stuff. And I always loved comedy. I think it was the year when I turned 18. I was like obsessed with like every comedian, and I was like sitting there on YouTube and like watching everything from like Eddie Murphy's Raw till like
Oh, okay.
I think Joe Coy had just come out then.
Yeah.
So his orange chicken thing was like one of my favorites. I was
Okay.
like, oh, I love this guy's style. So I think that year I was like, oh, I'm going to go to the UK because we used to go to the UK every summer. And I was like, I'm going to do an open mic. And we went and I couldn't find an open mic. And being an 18-year-old, I probably forgot about it or did something else.
Mhm.
And then I came back to the UAE after uni, and I started probably like a couple years after. I would go and watch all the stand-ups here. And I don't know why it never occurred to me that why don't I try an open mic here?
Yeah.
And T-Bone.
Yeah.
So me and Emma really liked T-Bone, and we used to watch him a lot. And then one time he posted that he was doing a one-day workshop or
Oh
something.
yeah, I wanted
Yeah.
to do that as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
1 day full intensive. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, and then I messaged going, can I? And I was like, oh, but I've never done comedy. He's like, that's exactly who it's for. He's
Did
like,
you know him or did you just watch him?
just watched him in like
Okay.
hi bye kind of
Okay.
situation, and then we did the 1 day workshop. He gave us like a bunch of homework to do beforehand, and then that one day we did like I had a 5-minute set. I mean, a lot of that jokes have been completely retired.
Okay,
now,
okay,
like
okay,
completely
okay.
changed, but it was like a 5-minute set, and the next day we performed at PUBG 2. Wait, which one's the PUBG that was in Barsha and now it's moved?
In Barsha?
Yeah, it's in like
Yeah, PUBG. It was PUBG 1. That was
PUBG
PUBG 1, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we did an open mic there, and then I was like, oh, I love this.
You did well your first time?
I did. I
Oh,
remember Eva got
wow.
up and she was like, she's lying. This ain't her first time. And I was like, nah, it's her first time.
I love that.
And that was it. And then it was a great audience as well. And
Okay,
then,
okay.
Yeah, and then
So you got that
after
rush. You're like,
I got the
want
rush. I
this.
was like, oh, I
Yeah.
love the stage time. And that was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and loving drama, it's also, the stage time, it's also interacting with your audience. It's also, so for sure, if you love drama, then
Yes.
naturally you're also going to love comedy.
No, drama is a very big part of comedy which people don't realize.
Yes.
It's one of the key foundations of comedy.
Yeah.
So I could see why a lot of theater acts or like
Yeah.
drama acts would love to get into comedy at some point of the other. They don't really enjoy it as much as they do, but it's like a stepping stone, So it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I prefer, I
No,
prefer
go ahead.
comedy than theater now.
Right.
Yeah. But I haven't done theater in years as well. So
Yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
I would love to. Yeah. I keep saying like maybe I'll perform for I'll what do you call audition for the next short and sweet. But
Oh yeah. Cool.
Sadik does it as well.
Sadik
He does
did.
theater.
You watched his
we went
Ice
on,
Hole, right? Friday.
Friday.
Yeah. I really want to go. I don't know if it's still showing, but I need to.
Oh no, yesterday or today is the last one.
Oh,
If you
okay.
can go, honestly, like I won't lie. Even to them, I was telling Sahar before the show, I'm like, if I hate it, I'm gonna leave. But it's gonna be really awkward because I'm like 3 rows in. I was like, how the hell do I pretend like I'm gonna leave? I gotta go to the washroom. But I was like, because I think I went in as like a complete skeptic, and honestly, it is like nothing you've seen before.
Okay.
It was so good.
Okay.
So good. I would recommend it if you can go watch it.
I would like
We
to try to.
definitely
Yeah.
have to see it.
I like Sadik a lot. He's a very nice guy. He does support me a lot as well in
Oh,
comedy.
nice.
Yeah, so it's
That's
it's
what you
only
guys
nice
need
to-
here, because I mean now it's a growing community, right? But when the first few times that I've seen you, the community was so small, and it was I would already know everyone else's set the next
Yeah.
time I saw them
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
But now like I
It's
feel
hard to
like
bring her to shows because she already like she knows all the old school comedians, like all the
Oh.
OGs and stuff. She hasn't seen a lot of new ones like you. She just recently
would
saw
love
like a
to.
few people.
Yeah.
Her favorite though is Salman. She really likes Salman.
Oh, I like
a lot.
Salman.
Remember
Salman's
the
funny.
Yeah.
Butterfly guy.
I love him.
Flowers.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, not
Flowers.
butterfly. Yeah, the flower guy.
I was like,
Yeah.
maybe in Philippines.
Butterflies in the
Maybe it was.
Philippines. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's something that we spoke about earlier, which I want to get back into because, as comedians, like we see when we watch comedians, we're like, oh, why didn't I think of that premise? Why didn't I think of that sort of joke? Especially it fits into my set so well.
Yeah.
So I was writing this joke about Janine and I because we just got married and now we're talking about having kids.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't know how our kids will look like. It's definitely gonna be hairy, and you know what joke I'm gonna
Yes.
do. And I'm like, I'm definitely gonna end up in as a barber or something like that
Okay.
because Lebanese are known for their hairstylists.
They
and
really are, by
Filipinos-
the way. Like
Yeah.
the best hairstylist.
And Filipino barbers are also top notch.
That's also
And then you come on stage. The first time I ever saw you, and you do this joke. I don't know if I should say it or if you want me to cut it.
Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, so she has this joke where like her husband is Indian, I'm Iranian. Can you imagine the baby on that hair? And I burst out laughing. I'm like, that is the perfect joke for a Filipino, an Indian and Lebanese child.
That is so
Because I'm like, I should have thought of that, but I couldn't think of that. So I immediately knew like, oh, that's such a great joke. I
Yeah.
wish I had it. But then of course it's yours and
so good.
it's
Oh
such a
my
it's such a
God.
great joke. And I think it's
like
one of the
that one.
first jokes you had, or I
That
think
was one
it's-
of the
yeah.
that was
something like this
that
is-
was actually in that first 5 minute set. That's one that stayed on till now.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I like that one joke actually.
Yeah.
So it's funny because that's one of the jokes that not always lands, by the way.
Oh, really?
Sometimes you have to explain it because sometimes I don't know if you've seen it in some rooms. I go, "Don't be fooled. I shaved for you guys."
Yeah, that's how you.
Yeah.
To continue
To
it on,
continue
yeah.
it, yeah,
Yeah.
because some people are just like, "Huh?"
Yeah. To explain the joke.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
explain
Yeah.
the joke.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about, because like I'm looking at your reels and your stage
Stalking you
presence.
today. Yeah.
Yeah, I stalked you a lot today. So if you see all of those likes, that's all me.
I'm gonna stalk you later. Don't
Yeah.
you worry. Jenny.
But I love your stage presence, and what I
thank
love
you.
most is how you do crowd work.
Oh, I love crowd.
That's and I want to talk about it more. Like I've seen one where there was a heckler, and
Oh, the British guy.
British guy.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, yes.
And I just wanted to ask you, how do you think of how to get back to these hecklers? Like, what do is there something that you practice? Do you do more improv? I don't know.
Or to add to that. If,
Yeah.
Also as well, because there's different ways of handling hecklers. They say the best one is just bring them back to reality. Don't make them an enemy. Make them a friend.
Yeah,
And then continue on your show.
yeah.
So yeah.
I love how she handles.
Yeah. I don't know if I remember seeing that or something, but
It was first you asked him his name, right? And he
Oh
said,
yes, and he said
Mr.
Mr.
Smith.
Smith. Yeah,
you're just like, you look more like a Mrs. Smith.
yeah.
And then I think that triggered him or
He did. He got
something.
really angry. Oh, but he didn't actually though. He was just trying to.
Yes.
They were just three really rowdy British guys who.
and
basically
everyone
from
thinks they're a
the beginning-
comedian at
Yes.
some point of the show.
Yeah.
But it was Stables, and you know how Stables is. Stables is like
Oh.
40% like
Yes.
people there for comedy, 60% regulars.
Yeah, after office drinks, that's
Yes.
the
Yeah.
that's the
I
crowd.
just want to drink.
Yeah.
That's
And these
it.
guys were just drinking. They did not. I think there was like 2 acts or 3 acts before me, and they were just talking over everyone. So I was like, I'm gonna address them the moment I get on stage because otherwise they're not gonna shut up. And Ema was like, don't address them too much because don't want to give them too much attention.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
she's like
She was like, I was like, but either way, they're gonna be talking. So
Yeah.
I think that was it. And then I think I made a joke about him not having a penis.
Yes.
But it was because it tied into my first joke about a Persian rug, which
Right.
Yeah.
okay,
so,
okay.
I think that was it. And then I just made a joke about being British Iranian to take it back to being British. But I don't know. There's no way. It's not like a cookie cutter fit of like
Yeah.
every person. And I think some comedians are really scared of crowd work.
I don't do crowd work.
Yeah, Josh doesn't do crowd work.
Doesn't. And I always encourage him. I'm like, just try it once or like twice. Like do something.
He used to do his tattoo one, which I love.
yeah.
And all the time I'm like, do it, yeah, but he hasn't done it for a while.
No, because now I'm working on newer stuff, so I try to end it with a different joke. But when I do longer sets, because no one gives me like 15 minutes or more other than Ima and a few other people. So yeah. No, okay, but
Josh is one of my faves, so I'm like, I'm shocked about
thank you. But yeah, I also for me, I get uncomfortable doing longer sets.
Okay.
I have a solid 5, which I like to do, but of course, like I like to do like 10 to 12. That's my sweet spot where I think. But I lately I've been doing like for Abu Dhabi Fest, I've been doing 20, 25, which I'm impressed as well. That I can actually do that much time without.
If I do say so myself.
Yeah.
Me too. I was like, wow. I was just looking at my thumb, like, where'd it go, Josh?
Yeah.
He definitely has the content. I've seen Josh like a million times, and he always does. Like, I really liked your new joke, which everyone else was like, "Oh, we got really sad." I'm like, "No, but that's where the funny was." That he was.
So now my Instagram is just gonna be so just to keep me on my toes and keep me writing, I'm gonna write a new joke for every time I perform.
Oh, I like
this joke is with the intention to get chuckles but not roaring laughters, but for the most part like a bomb, like a sort of a funny bomb.
I saw your dog one today. I couldn't stop laughing. He was like, "Oh, nobody got that? Okay, bye."
That was my closer, by the way, and I got off stage. I called on the whole stage. So I have a ton of these now ready. I'm gonna start posting like once a week. Just my bombing bits, because everyone posts like really good work, really good times where they performed. I would love to post crowd work if I did crowd work, but I can't. So I'm just doing one joke, which I'm just gonna do then and there, never again. Doesn't fit into my set, like a one-liner.
And he sends them to me sometimes, like I'm at work, and he sends them to me. I'm like, this is so bad, and he's like, that is the goal. And I'm like, are you really gonna do it? He's like, yes. I'm like,
It's actually hilarious. Though.
Yeah.
I like it because it's so different. He's
It's
right. All of
different,
us go through like our hours of material to be like, okay, this one is really funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas like that's hilarious.
And he's like, it's a one bomb wonder.
Yeah.
Instead of one hit wonder.
I like that. I like that.
And there's this guy who came to me after a show. One of the times we performed together in Double Decker, I don't know if you remember this night. There was this.
Was that the first time Denise performed?
Yes, correct. So this doctor came. He's like, not to toot my own horn, but he's like, you were the funniest comedian tonight. I really loved you. Then he comments on one of the last video I put out. He's like, what happened to your comedy, bro?
Oh, that's him?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
And I felt bad at the same time, but I'm like, he doesn't know like
He
what
didn't
is
get it.
what
He
is
didn't
my thinking of
Intention.
this as well.
Yeah.
And something I also want to do, if there's a joke that I write which I really like, I want to do it in a way where like, okay, this is the first time I did this joke where it bombed, and this is where it is now and where it gets a huge
Oh, I think
laugh.
that would
So
be great.
it's the progression of a joke, because people don't understand how much time, like even one word can really change the flow of a joke, the laughter of
So
it.
much.
So I want people to see that. They think, oh, this guy just comes out on stage, or these comedians just make it look so easy, but in reality,
I think
it's
that's one
of the
problem with
hardest thing.
like newcomers as well. They get on stage and I think a common thing is like they think because you're funny with your friends or like you're the clown of the group, you're going to get on stage and just be funny.
Yes.
Whereas I'm like, you don't realize there's a process. We got to write like 20 times. You got to perform it. We don't have enough open mics, by the way. Producers, we don't have enough.
Yeah,
mics.
open mics is scarcity. Everyone has
Yeah.
a curated show, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, but then the amount of times you trial and test it. And then he's right. It's like one joke I used to do back in the day. I didn't get any laughs. Now I do it complete. It's the same thing, same verbiage, but like maybe one word different, and I act it.
Ah, yes.
So it makes such a difference.
Yes.
yeah.
And like you only know that either when you've done 100 shows, when you keep doing it differently, or open mics.
Yeah. And you
such a
actually
process.
learn how your audience reacts to it. Is it the first part? Is it the second part? The middle or whatever?
Yeah.
And so I try to act as Josh's ears when the little times that I go and actually listen to his open mics. I'd like to tell him like, okay, here you got a lot of laughter, so like try to work on that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But gosh, I'm so impressed with you guys because you could never put me on stage and do that. I would be embarrassed if no one laughed at my jokes, but you guys like take it as a champ if actually no one laughed at the jokes.
I
would be
like
able to handle that.
bombing
Yeah.
in a way, because that's where everyone says that's where they see the real me. Like, because for me, I always try to put in like some stupid lines here and there, and that usually gets ignored or brushed under, and like people really don't laugh. But there's something to bombing where you realize like, okay, I definitely have to work harder in this joke, especially if a joke you're very stubborn about. Like, okay, the audience doesn't get it now, but wait till I refresh it until I refine it. Then that's the beauty for me when it comes to comedy as well. Yeah. Because what you said is so true. Like where you say there's some guys who are like so funny in front of their friends. Yeah, they're the class clown. They grew up very funny, very popular. The moment they get on stage, it doesn't translate. Yeah, because like there was this guy on the podcast who talked about. Yeah, it could be funny with your friends because they know the premise.
Yes.
They know who you are as a person, but when you go on stage, you have to really like spell it out for them. Like you have to tell them the real premise. Oh, so my friend Roxy. Like all the friends know her already, so they already have you in their story. But now you're coming on as a fresh face, and they don't like, okay, what's he talking about? Yeah. A lot of fresh faces are doing that, and we lately have started being very like what is the word that I'm looking for? Like very truthful with feedback. Because now I used to tell this a lot to people. Oh, you did it so well today, even if they bombed and ate butt on stage. Yeah, but now you really have to start giving them honest feedback. Like, you have to get your joke out in 10 seconds. You have to have a strong opener, strong closer, all the very basic stuff which people take for granted. But you need to really just give them the straightforward feedback, or if they ask for it, give it to them. Don't say, oh, you did well, oh, you can just rewrite it, but try to be a little bit more specific. So
but you guys understand each other, and who else would give the best feedback to one another than you guys?
That's why I appreciate comics who did courses or like understood the basics, like you, like whoever done the Bomandi or Ima's classes or something like that, because they really took time to understand, it's a science, there's a setup, there's a premise, there's a punchline, there's a tag, there's an act out. Something
stuff. And as you said, it takes a lot of like these open mics and testings and all that. But on the flip side as well, if a joke doesn't, like, when do you know to drop a joke? And that's true. Is it hard to let go of a joke for you? Yeah,
it is, because this is one joke I really like. I don't think you ever heard my Objectophilia one.
No.
I love this joke so much, and I did it, I think, a total of 3 times, including an open mic. And it worked twice, and the third time, or maybe it worked once, and the 2 other times it went flat. And I was just like, and this is one of those jokes where I've dropped it, but now I'm just like, I need to revive it. I still think there's something there.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. And that's like,
if it worked once, that means
there's something there.
Yeah.
Something there.
Oh,
park it and work on it later. Not like I'm some super genius comedian or anything, but it was one of my first jokes ever that I ever performed. Like within 6 months of doing comedy, I dropped it because it wasn't getting laughs. I went on a roast battle with Anand, and Anand had the perfect roast. And then while he was roasting me, it just clicked in my mind. Like I'm literally on stage, and if there was a video of it, I'm pretty sure I'm be like, that would fit in my set really well. Like while he's literally mid roasting me, audience like, oh, and I'm just looking like that would fit in my set. So after the show, I spoke to him like, that roast you gave on me, can I add it to my bit? He gave me full permission, and so it's there's some times where you just click, or sometimes someone says something when you're just having a conversation, and I'm like, oh yeah, that can be added to it.
As an outsider, I'm very curious. Do you guys get like bad blood with one another if you steal each other's joke? Not steal, but like, hey, that's close to my joke. Do you guys get protective with?
You can take this question.
So I've never had that done, but I know people are very touchy on premises here. But I also think it's very unfair because, like, not just UAE, like we all have like similar. The whole good thing is like if you're a good comic, some joke I may make might be so relatable to someone in a completely different country or continent that they're like, oh,
sorry,
I
think
that
that's
could
a
have been
flight.
That's okay. That could have been, mine. But like, for me, I wouldn't mind because I think each joke. Like, remember when the Stephen Hawking thing happened for Epstein's Island?
Yeah.
I think that one week all of us did an Epstein.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen. But it's a topical joke. Like, it'll happen and then you'll park it and never do it again.
Yeah, with COVID, everyone was talking about COVID, for example.
Everyone now has a I mean not here so much, but I know a few comedians have already started doing it. The Hawk Twa girl.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
everyone
yes.
like so now that's like I know like all the or whoever comedians I follow on Instagram. If you see their reels, they're like everyone
It's
has like
all
a
about
Hawk
that.
Twa.
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
it's
didn't
a
even know
topic.
about this, by the way, until like last week.
Even her. Like, what is the Hawk Twa girl?
I kept seeing it and I asked him, I'm like, what does that mean? And so he had to explain to me and I was like, oh my gosh. And now she's like super famous. She was just telling me she
So crazy.
trademarked or copyrighted.
You know she's
the
trademarking
term.
the term now, Hawk Twa.
How can you trademark hot tour?
Yeah.
She's gone on she's been brought up on stage by country singers in arenas
To do
to
hot
sing
tour.
to sing songs because apparently she's also a singer. So she's being brought on stage. She just posted a video like, don't buy any merch that is not sold by me. I'm working on selling my own merch, so keep it busy.
Oh my
If you're supporting
God.
other merch people, that money doesn't go to me, guys. So just be patient. I'm already working on merch, and then she shows a preview of a hat that she's working on.
It's insane.
I'm like, can you imagine? Like,
It's just
Good on her.
insane.
Good on her for capitalizing on
I
the
don't know, man. It's
instant
such a
fame.
social media game now. Like,
Generations messed up.
Yeah.
yeah.
I saw I didn't see any of like people doing jokes, but I saw a podcast of
Flagrant,
Oh,
Andrew
yeah.
Schultz.
who?
Andrew Schultz.
No. It was he's an Arab American, Fahim Anwar.
Ah, yeah, Fahim Anwar.
He did one about the he was like this is the problem of our generation. He's like, I've been a comic, I've got like 700,000 followers.
Ah, yeah.
The
He does
hot
this.
tour
Yeah, yeah.
girl has got like 250,000 followers
Yeah.
just for doing
That
hot
is
tour.
true. Yeah. It
So
just takes one moment, the right
Ah.
time, the right whatever you say or do, and it gets you. But then it's what you do after as well.
True.
You know, those 15 seconds.
exactly
Yes.
capitalizing on your 15
Yeah.
seconds.
It can just go away very quickly. But if you're smart, like what she's doing, good on her. She's getting on podcasts.
Yeah.
She has her merch, and everyone's talking about her. And what? It's been 1, 2, 3 weeks now, probably
Yeah, around
doing
that,
that.
time,
And yeah, as you said, she's being brought onto stage.
yeah, bring out to arena shows
Yeah.
with country music stars. She sings her songs. Now, like,
So she was a singer before.
yeah, apparently she's a really Midwest girl, like cowboy sort of thing. So she's like one of those.
Yeah.
She looked cowboy.
Yeah, yeah.
But I can also understand, like, as a very hardworking content creator, that can also be like very discouraging that
Yeah.
someone just gets their 15 seconds of fame and then they run with it while other people have been doing it for years and years, producing millions of content, are
Yeah.
still struggling to
Yeah.
get the amount of
It's a frustration of being an artist as well, right? Like, especially when, like, there's two different things. There's one is jealousy and one is envy. So, like, jealousy is like, okay, I'm jealous of this person for no reason whatsoever. I don't even want what they have. Like,
Yeah.
like a lot of people, like, it's more envy where you're like, I can do this. I need to work harder. This is what I want. So at least I know what I want and I know what is the direction to take as well. So you post your crowd work, what, once a week, or how does it work?
It depends. Like right now, I've got like loads of. I'm so bad at editing. I'm so bad at editing. Like there's so much. I'm like, oh, I need to make this, and then I just look at it. I'm like, I have no idea how to. Like it'll take me forever on
Right?
CapCut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you talk about content creators, it's not easy.
It's not easy. It is not easy. Honestly,
Takes a long
props off to
time.
you if you
Yeah.
can do it as often as you can. But like, yeah, I try to do at least one a week.
Okay.
That's good.
Post
Yeah.
one a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just like hope and pray, you know, like where, like this is the one that really blows up or sets
Yeah.
you apart from everyone. Because it happens. The thing that I've realized about all these people who recently blew up in our community
Yeah.
is consistency.
Yes.
Like Anand, huge shout out to him. Ever since I knew the guy, met him in 2019, he's always told me he wanted to make it big on social media. He's done animations.
Good.
He's done street interviews. He's done podcasting, solo
Skits.
podcasting, reaction videos, everything.
You know, my favorite of Anand's that he stopped doing, and I want him to do it again. Is puns.
Oh yeah. I told him like
Yes,
I really missed that. I really missed that.
Yeah.
It's
Bring
so
it back.
funny. Yeah, I know.
For the Sandeep and Anand, he was doing the puns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those were really good.
His
Yeah.
puns were
And he's super
so
punny in that sense.
Yeah.
He's really can think of something on spot. So, but he was consistent. Even if he would get like 10 likes per reel, he would still post, and he wouldn't stick to something. Like he was really open to the idea of trying new stuff as well. So, So that's one thing. Consistency as well is really, and something relatable.
Yeah.
Because the way Instagram algorithm works is now it's on relatability. How many times it's shared, how many times
Yes.
people watch it over and over again.
Yeah.
I recently found out that you now also get more views if someone's watching your reel and they turn up the volume. Do you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea that's a thing.
Yeah. Go up. Oi.
Okay. Good
Back to your
boy.
donut bed.
Yes. I guess, yeah, because that's engagement, right? It's like, oh, I want to hear more about
How
it.
do you even know that though?
Yeah.
Everything is
that
tracked on
Our iPhones.
yeah.
The other day I had a meeting on Friday and the guy was telling me that he's trying to find a cheap ticket to, I think it was Italy. And I was like, oh, I think Wizz Air goes to Italy. That's all I said. And then an hour later, I forgot I even had the Wizz Air app, by the way. I got a Wizz Air notification and it was the first Wizz Air notification I've ever gotten in my life.
That is
And I was like,
insane.
who are you?
Yeah.
Are you listening to me?
Why are you listening to me?
Yeah.
I
So
just, sometimes
crazy.
I just want to whisper some things to your phone,
Like what?
Chanel bag, something else.
Shopping
Yeah, exactly. Let me travel. Bring me somewhere else. But yeah, we just wanted to know what's next for you. Like, where do you see yourself growing?
Wait,
with this art?
before we get there, I
Yeah.
have one more question since we're still on the topic of comedy. Do you run your jokes past your husband or?
So I used to. So sometimes I'd make him, first of all, this weird thing I'm going to tell you, he doesn't like comedy.
No.
He doesn't like comedy. And his reasoning is so, I don't even know what to say. It's such a weird reasoning. He's like, yeah, but your jokes are just, it's common sense or it's like knowledge. And I'm just like, yeah, but that's why it's supposed to be funny. It's the funny and the mundane. Isn't it? So he doesn't really like comedy. And like if I sit there and watch like an hour special or a bit from someone, he won't join me. But I do still run them by him every now and again.
Okay.
Sometimes he'll be like, no, don't try that. It's not funny. And I'll be like, you don't know. And then I'll go and try it. And then I'll be like, you really don't know.
Maybe you do the opposite. Every time you say
Yes.
don't do it, do
He
it.
says there's been a few times he said it and is right. But then when he does say, no, this won't work, don't do it. And I do it. I'm like,
I have the upper hand.
I'm right. You're wrong.
We love that. As women, we love that. When we're right. As we always are.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
What about you? Do you run it with Janine?
No.
Never.
No.
Really?
Only the new one-liners that I've
Okay.
been trying to do for every show. I run it by her a little bit, but to be honest, she's helped me with so many tags,
Yeah.
so many joke ideas that it's really crazy. Like I feel like if she ever did comedy, she'd be better than me, and that would hurt me a lot. Because she's better than me in literally everything else that I do. So I'm like, don't ever do comedy because it will take it away from me.
Take it away.
He's like,
Yeah.
please let me be the
It's
funny
my
one.
one thing.
Yeah, it's my one thing. It's really my one thing.
And so when we get into this, like, not arguments, but when we one up each other, I'm like, if I start my comedy career and I do better than you, it's gonna be the end of you. And it's like, please don't.
Please don't.
Like we play paddle. She's better than me.
I'm
We
so
went go
competitive.
karting the other day. I was scared she was better than me, but she
No,
wasn't.
it
and I thank
wasn't.
God.
It was
Yeah,
so bad.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm super competitive.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay,
so
okay.
he knows, like, when we get into something, I'll be like, I need to be better than you.
Oh.
And so far I can't do comedy because, again, I cannot like put myself up on a stage where people are just not gonna laugh at me.
Yeah.
It will probably crush my soul
Yeah.
because I feed off of people's energies, and so if no one reacts to my joke, I'll be, let me cry and
You know, when you said feeding off people's energy, it also reminds me of you. Like, whenever I know you're going to be hosting a show, I get excited because
Oh.
Roxy is an amazing host, by the way.
like her stage presence is crazy. I mean, I haven't seen her in person. I've only seen reels. So
Oh, you should see
I'm
her in
excited to
person.
see
Our last gig together was last Saturday.
Bite me.
It bite me. And for me, I felt it was such a tough room for one reason, that 90% of the audience was African.
Yes, everyone was Sudanese. It was very interesting.
But the way you handled it, Roxy, like I was just thinking, like when I was standing back waiting for my turn, I'm like, if I ever host, I've only hosted like once or twice, but I'm like, how do you engage everyone in a way? Because everyone was so drawn into Roxy. And like a lot of the comedians there did, I mean, I said all the comedians do better, but of course, since it's a room like where, because they all came for one guy who was doing his
Yeah.
first ever mic.
Oh, okay.
And that's also very tough, you know, when everyone comes to support one guy, so they're like, okay, let me save my laughter for my friend.
Yeah.
These are all competition.
Yeah. So it was so cool seeing you like riff the audience. You were speaking to everyone. Everyone was getting involved. You remembered everyone's names well. So it was really like, okay, when Roxy is hosting, I get excited. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a good night. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
do think the host makes a big difference.
Oh, for sure.
I don't mean off me. I mean like generally, like
Yeah.
I've been on times where the host is like really like monotone, and I'm like, oh no, we're gonna have to work like extra hard as an act.
Yeah. And I've seen Josh do at least, if not the first, at least the second act with a host that's not too lively or too engaging, and it really affects the crowd. Like you don't get louder laughter, you don't get that energy off of people as much as if someone came in and it's like, how's everybody, and like really riles up the audience. So
that's why a lot of comedians, I don't know if you're the same, are afraid to go first.
Ema puts me first all the time, and I'm like, I find it, I take it as a compliment because it's like
even for me, Ema only puts me first in the first 2 years I was doing comedy. I was always first for most of Ema's shows, and everyone's like, oh, if I'm first, does it mean I suck or they want to get me out of the way? I'm like, no, because they all think it goes in a progressive straight line up. But comedy is it's up, down, middle. Yeah, it's a roller coaster. It's because everyone, all the newer comedians, like, since I'm first, does it mean like the host or the producer doesn't think I'm very?
No, I don't.
Well,
think
like
so.
no, I don't think so.
I think it's quite the opposite. I take it as a compliment.
Yeah, I think it is a compliment. Yeah, because it's like I'm gonna bring the energy here on out.
Yeah.
Take it.
I'm setting
set the tone.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
for me. It's like the first act sets the tone.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. So it's like you would never have a dark act go as number one.
Oh yeah. Or never a deadpan comedian in the first.
Never.
Yeah.
Because imagine they like, yeah, everyone, and then it's like, hi. You're like, thank you.
Yeah.
On that, I think you should do, because I've noticed like people who get away with crowd work are people who are likable, and you're very likable, so you should do crowd work.
I would love to, but
Honestly, you should.
I always play the crowd work game. I don't know if you do this, but if someone is doing crowd work on stage and someone answers in the audience, you think of an answer what you're gonna do. Okay, he said this, but then the guy on stage says something else. So I'm like, I think if he said whatever I was thinking, it would be funnier. So I just play that game for me as well, but it's something that I will eventually start doing. I'm doing improv classes now. Today's my first improv class with Rushdie.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Wait, how? I'm on Rushdie's show tonight.
no, so he has it between 4 to 6. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you're on the Rushdie show tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm completely unaware of what the show is, by the way. From what I understand, it's like they're gonna put a word or a slide, and I have to relate my joke to the word or a slide.
Oh, I love that.
So it's I know a few. I've done this once with Nitesh. It's basically okay. There's a bowl. I don't know if Rushdie's gonna follow the same. It's a bowl. So this is a presentation about you getting this client on board with your water purifier or something. Then the slides will come out. Now you have to use that scenario with the slides. Okay, hello guys. So like maybe like a Shark Tank sort of thing where you present something, but the slides are like, so there's a picture of a monkey. They're like, oh, so monkeys are endangered because they don't drink enough water. So you start doing stuff like that, so you can relate it and make it fun.
So is it? Do I do jokes as well, or I just riff off?
No, it's like an improv thing. So it's you can make it funny. Of course, the audience will love it if you make it funny. Like, why is there a picture of a plant in the corner of a room? So how do you relate that to the topic that you were assigned with in the beginning? So when Nitesh used to do it, he used to ask the audience, okay, what is Joshua today? He's a salesman. Okay, and where does he work? He works at Day to Day. Okay, like, so this is Joshua's presentation for Day to Day and with these slides. And it was the most random slides. It was a guy drinking tea in a corner, and then I'm like, okay, so how do I do it? It's funny because some people really know how to make it work very well. And there's a lot of YouTube videos. I think on YouTube you can just type in PowerPointless.
Okay.
And there's a whole comedy show that goes on like this. Yeah, where
it's good because it trains you to be quick-witted.
Yeah.
And then you already are with all of your crowd work, so it's gonna be good.
So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
See, this is why you need to train more.
Yeah, but no, it's good that so improv, is this your first time doing improv?
my first time ever. Yeah.
So one thing I think as a comic is really hard when you do improv is that you want to make everything funny.
That's my problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've done improv a few times with Imrana, who's great at improv. But she always says, she's like, stop it. You're taking too long because you're trying to make it funny. She's like, you shouldn't. You should just try to do the improv scene and the funny comes. And I'm like, oh, but it's so hard.
To go against.
That's my thing,
yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, because when I see like the kings of crowd work do it, like for me, like McDodd when he does it,
Yeah.
like how does he make everything funny?
Yeah.
And you as well. How do you make everything funny? Or how do you tie it back? How do you make a callback somewhere here or there? And I'm like, I cannot think like that on the spot. So I'm doing improv, but like what you said, I want to try to eliminate me trying to just be funny with every response that I have, but maybe dig in and into something where like, oh, that's something funny that I can work.
Yeah.
Because everyone, how did you meet? Oh, I met on mutual friend. Okay, where's the mutual friend? And then it comes down like, oh, they actually met on Tinder. Then you can use it
Yeah.
against them. So yeah, so that's how great when I see when you do your crowd work, how much you really
Thank you. That means
take
a lot
into
from
it,
you,
yeah.
Josh, thank you.
yeah
Tonight's gonna be fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
But mine is improv class. Then he does the show at O'Leary's.
Yeah.
And
Have you done O'Leary's before?
Yeah, I've done it
Okay.
twice already.
Is it a good
Yeah.
crowd?
The first time I did it was an amazing crowd.
Okay.
Amazing crowd,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
But then they have some weird things where it's a sports bar, so they keep the TV on. Because people will like they want to watch the cricket match. Because the first time I wasn't there, but they were saying like the cricket was on and they couldn't switch it off because a lot of the crowd came to watch the match.
Yeah.
So sorry.
So it was, they didn't want to be bothered by
Yeah.
a comedy show.
Yeah.
Even last week we got this show was supposed to be last Sunday, but it got cancelled because of a football match.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
UK was playing somewhere.
Euro,
Yeah.
Cup, whatever.
I didn't even know there was football going on. Like,
Yeah.
it's hell out of tune.
Even I have no idea of any sports. That is
I
going.
just know because of my colleagues, like everyone's talking about, have you seen the match last night? And I'm like, no.
I just feel like football is like one of the weirdest sports ever that got so commercially like how many 22 guys after one ball on a pitch? Like, how did this become this?
That lasts
famous?
for 90 minutes.
That
It
lasts
could
for
go last
90
longer. It could last longer after that.
How did this become a sport? That, like,
I find it exciting. I tried to reel him in
Oh,
for the
really?
World Cup, and he was just like, no, not happening.
You know, funny story. The first time I ever did comedy was for the Bomedy show where I bombed and I never wanted to do it again. One of my jokes I remember was because FIFA was happening. So I'm like, let me make a joke about FIFA. And I made this joke. Every time I watch FIFA, I just get hungry because, on the sides of the
McDonald's
pitch,
ad?
there's a McDonald's ad. I always just see the McDonald's ad. That's the only thing that I'm staring at when I watch football. And no one's like, what is this guy doing
you're
here?
like, why doesn't he like football?
Yeah, I know. So I'm like,
Despicable.
immediately I made a mistake of trying to make fun of something that literally
Everybody loves,
there's so much
yeah.
passion for it.
Yeah.
And
And football fans are very passionate.
Oh
like,
my god, yeah. Like, how come one sport
the
has so much
makeup,
goodness?
their flags, everything. They wear the jerseys.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's one thing I don't like about football. Actually, I feel like it brings up a really bad patriotic side out of some people.
Mm.
It's like,
And they
it's
get
not-
very rowdy.
Yeah, very,
Yeah, the amount of like
generally,
after match fights that happen.
Yes. And that's like just for like team whatever. But like
Exactly.
World Cup, people go crazy. I was just like,
Because this we're talking about a country versus another. It gets insane.
yeah.
Yeah.
People like she gets excited for Brazil. I'm like, well, you have no ties to Brazil whatsoever.
I'm Lebanese. What are you saying?
What?
oh, that's true. There's so many Lebanese people in Brazil.
Oh, are
Half of it is like full of
Lebanon,
them.
Oh, okay.
Brazil, with Colombia, obviously,
Yes.
and then Chile.
Yes.
There's Chile
like,
Palestinians.
Yes. South America, like
Yeah.
a lot of.
Oh, okay. That I had no idea.
I really want to read on the history of what happened at one point. That Lebanese. Have you seen the map? Like, how did these people get here?
Right from there to there. Yeah.
It wasn't even a trade route. I don't
Yeah.
understand what went wrong on this
Yeah.
boat trip.
Yeah.
Guys, relax. We're going east. I know. Okay.
There's a storm. So
That's Beirut, guys. Relax. Like, the stars.
probably that's what happened. It just got lost. Yeah.
But it's interesting. It's like,
Yeah.
I want to hear
And
this.
this is why I'm very passionate about Brazil.
Okay, that I had no idea too. Then
I grew up cheering as a family.
Yeah.
Grew up cheering for the Brazil team. I don't know why. I was just like, yeah, Brazil.
Was your mum in the room when you were cheering? Yeah, she's sugarcoating it. It's because Brazilian men are hot, Josh. I don't know how to
telling
tell
me
you.
after that she's like, "Isn't Neymar so good looking?" I'm like, "What? What are you watching?"
It's like, no.
Bro, that's why
not
women
really.
like football. It's because all the men have phenomenal legs. I'm just like, this is the only sport where all the men
that
should
that
be.
I can. That I
And
can
the
see.
swag is insane.
Yeah. Then the swag.
Swagger.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to my question.
Yeah, go back.
Yeah. What's to come from you? What's gonna happen in the next few
With comedy.
years? Yes. Or even
Yeah,
outside
in
of
general, like
comedy.
what are your aspirations?
Is this an interview?
I know. Oh, where's my 5-year plan?
Does it
To
bring you
open up a
flashbacks?
telesales company. Skynet point 2.
In Dubai.
Can I work for you guys? I know Emirates NBD Visa card starts with 4439. So
There you go.
I'm the Sri Lankan in this story.
So, I mean, I guess every like comedian or like performer's goal is like hopefully tour and stuff. And I'd love to. So my plan is like by the end of the year, I want to go and tour India for 2 weeks. So I've
You've
got
done India, right?
I did
Were you well
India.
received over there?
Oh, I loved it. I think very well received. I got very lucky because I think I've got an edge because I'm married to an Indian. So it's
Right,
kind
right,
of like an outward person's, I guess, experience with their culture.
Just to add to that, plus Indian men love seeing when an Indian man eventually ends up with a white girl. And you're white at first
white
sight.
passing,
So when
yeah,
they
I'm
see an
white
Indian guy,
passing
like
for
they
sure.
all get so curious. I'm like, so okay, so what is the steps now to marry a white girl?
What does he have?
Because Indian men are obsessed with white girls. So it's like
It's true.
so then
This is true.
so you already have that edge.
Yeah.
So you were well received up there. They liked it,
Very
but-
well received. I really enjoyed it. The crowds were so good. Like honestly, like Mumbai, if you can go to Mumbai and do a show. Like
Okay.
honestly, the crowd were smart. They were very perceptive. I really enjoyed it, and I've heard like Bangalore is even better than that. So I got in touch with. I met like a lot of comics there, and like I asked one of them if I wanna. He gave me the name of a company. He's like, reach out to them. They can even set it up for you.
Oh, okay.
So yes, short term goal is to put myself through like one. Or
Also,
two
like you're thinking about
tours.
like a tour, like you're the headliner. You have
Oh, no, not
30 minutes set, or just doing
headliner, but, like,
spots.
just get spots.
Ah, okay.
Just get spots in like some of the main cities. So I think, from what I understand about India, it'll probably be Bangalore, Mumbai, and Delhi.
Delhi.
So yeah, these three do that, and then hopefully next year try and put myself through the UK.
Nice.
So yeah, that's
Going
the
back
goal.
home.
That's the goal.
Very nice.
That's
Very
the
cool.
goal. Yeah.
Do you want to plug the podcast that you have? Anything that you want to?
With Sanya.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, Spicy Babies, please
Yes.
watch it.
On YouTube.
Is it a weekly podcast? That you
So
guys
we've
have?
got a bunch of backlog right now because Sanya's been touring.
Oh yeah, correct.
So we're hopefully we'll have a new episode. I think before she was touring, we'll have a new episode every like 2 weeks. Yeah.
You were telling me she does everything, right? She edits.
She does everything. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So
Wow.
we're trying to find someone to do it on her behalf now because
Okay.
it's too much workload
Yeah.
for her.
Especially if she's touring.
She's touring and she's got a full-time job, so it's
Yeah.
like it's a lot of work.
And the three of you are all comics?
So no, me and Sanya, our comic Z is Sanya's cousin.
Ah,
Yeah.
Oh, that was her sister.
Oh yeah, no, her
Okay.
her
okay,
cousin.
okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very cool.
I should listen to.
But I'm so glad of the female comedian community right now.
Yeah,
Because when I
there's so
started, it was just
many.
Ema, Sahar,
Liz.
Liz.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally it. And all the other girls like Arzu, they left.
Was Rebecca there back then?
Rebecca's yeah.
Rebecca there. Okay.
Yeah, Rebecca was there. But now it's coming in hot. Like the
Yeah.
girls are
We're
really
booming the girls.
Yeah.
The other on Thursday, Noha's room at Underground. It's literally I think 5 of us and Ehsan. I'm like, I
Oh, yeah,
love
yeah,
that
yeah,
Ehsan is our Pinai
Yeah.
quota for the evening. It's great.
And now there's 3 Iranian comedians.
Oh,
Before,
that's true.
zilch.
True.
Yeah.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
good.
So
Keep
it's
going.
really picking up here
Yeah.
the scene like
Yeah.
from when I started till now. It's
You guys need
You-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been doing it for 2 years now, George?
2018 I started.
2018.
First time I ever got on stage was 2018. I'll tell you the story.
Took a break. Yeah,
Huh?
you said you took a break.
Took a break. And when I was working, when I was working out my set, I was doing the same set for like 2 years.
Yeah.
No new jokes, no new nothing. Now I'm coming in a little bit hotter.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I started 2018. It was the first time I ever got on
Yeah.
stage, but I stopped. I'll tell you this off camera because I've spoken about this so many times, but yeah, I just love seeing how much it's progressing, and it's also a wake up call to everyone to really be at their toes if they really want to
Yes.
make it big into
Bring your A
comedy.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Keep working on new jokes
yeah,
so that I can come and keep watching you guys.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being
Yeah.
Thanks for
here.
having me.
When are you performing next? No, so this podcast comes out on Tuesday. Do you have any shows past Tuesday that you want to plug in?
Yes, I'm hosting this week. So Thursday, Underground in Marina.
Mm-hmm.
Friday hosting blah blah in JBR, and Saturday Bite Me
Okay.
in DIFC.
Okay. Awesome. Yes.
And then hopefully next week onwards, just performing.
Okay.
We'll take a break from hosting because I was trying to host for a while so that I can write new material.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How's the writing going?
It's going good. It's
Yeah.
going good. So I did a bunch of it last week at Nitesh's room, and now,
Okay, that's good. Before we close, I always like to ask a comedian, whoever we have as a guest, what is your writing process? Do you write word for word? Do you you have an idea, you just make thought bubbles around it, or
so I would write the title of the joke, so like
Okay.
the premise. So let's say my British Iranian one, that's always
Okay.
the title, and then I'll write jokes, and then I'll write the joke format, and then I'll probably rewrite it 3 times before I even test it.
okay.
Yeah, that's usually. I like the idea of thought bubbles. So now that you said that, I'm like, oh, I like that.
Because what I'm starting now is doing like what is the word, mind mapping. So I write so I like, if I want to do a joke about the gym, so I put gym in the center and I put on one side, okay, smelly people, towels on the floor. So I just put everything, all this, because you have to look at it at different angles.
Yeah.
Because what you said again, everyone will have a similar joke when it comes to something topical, like
Yeah.
the Stephen Hawking bit.
Yeah.
So you have to think of an angle which no one can really think about, and then try to do it. Because eventually, if everyone has the same premise, like a Tinder joke, everyone almost has a Tinder joke.
Yeah.
So a same punchline or something will be in the middle. So you have to just try to think of a different angle out of it.
Differently.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good.
Yeah. And you have a unique story as well. So as an advice, try to make it start making it personal. Like
this is why
like the call center thing is really, really funny. Like, you see my new bit now, which I'm still workshopping, about me growing up poor.
Yes.
That's all completely real. Of course, exaggerated,
Yeah.
but
I love that joke.
yeah,
The way
yeah.
it keeps
So
going, I love that joke.
so that's the thing. I think if you start making it more personal, that's when you can really
Yeah.
tour like a solid 45 minutes and
Yes.
do that around.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying now.
yeah.
So exciting. I can't wait to see you live.
So much. Thank
Yeah,
you.
let's try to we'll try to
Yeah.
get you on a because the thing is, we have Max and he's separate. He has crazy separation anxiety.
imagine.
Janine will show you a video after this. She's been showing everyone this video of how he is when he's home alone.
Oh, no.
So I want to get a spot at Reform actually, because it's the only dog friendly venue.
Oh, yes.
Yes, yeah. So Janine, one of the last few times you saw me was at Reform.
Yeah.
So I'll try to get a
Fine.
spot at Reform. So that's the only way that she can come.
Yeah.
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 And hopefully you
We do
do
need
there
some more
too.
pet friendly venues, huh?
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Really.
Producers, we do. Thank you so much
All
for
right,
your
thank you,
time.
Roxy.
Thank you,
So much for being here. We really appreciate it.
you.
We would love to have you back sometime again in the future.
I would love
And
to see you live.
yeah. Thank you guys for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
That was a lot of fun.
Fun.